breaking news. We got ASAP Rocky. Um, went to court today, and he plead not guilty. Uh, well, he had plead not guilty, and that's about a year ago. But today he went to court and he turned down a plea, I should say, and chose to take the case to trial. Now, you might be wondering which case we're speaking of, right? Um, before we get into that, I'll give you a quick update here um on what happened. This is last year, ASAP Rocky in court on a guns charge, right? And I believe this is where he plead not guilty.
Alleged November 2021 shooting of ASAP Relly. Now, Los Angeles police say the rappers got into a heated argument that escalated into gun violence.
And joining us now with more on this high-profile trial, ABC News contributors Mike Muse and Brian Buckmeyer. Good to see you guys, as always. This is a big talker here. Brian, we'll start with you. No gun was ever recovered. The surveillance videos, they aren't clear. So how in the world did this case even make it to trial to begin with?
So it's two things. It's a patchwork of circumstantial evidence. You've got two different videos, one showing a person that they can't ID with what they believe to be a gun, but they're able to identify the clothing the person is wearing, and then a subsequent video where the police are saying, well, that's ASAP Rocky, even though we can't see a gun. And again, they're kind of patchworking together. But ultimately, it's moving towards trial because of the standard that's needed to provide enough information to go to trial. It's called a preponderance of the evidence, or more likely than not. So the reason why it's going to trial is because literally it's more likely than not there's enough information based on the people making the accusations that ASAP Rocky shot at ASAP Relly.
Now this is gonna get tricky because ASAP Rocky, as we know, is Rihanna's uh boyfriend slash husband, right? They have two beautiful kids, I believe, two or three beautiful kids. Um, and you know, that would be very devastated if he end up going to jail because the kids are all under 5, I believe. Um, and in this case, so he did went to court today and turned down a plea, but so now we understand it's probably because he feels like he has a good chance, right? They had no guns. They got some videos, but it's very unclear. And we'll get to it. I'll show you guys. I have it here. Show you guys the video that I got showing ASAP Rocky in the whole altercation. But let's finish this video here.
Okay, Mike, these two guys were friends. How did they end up here in this situation?
This is really a friendship kind of gone awry. And when you look at ASAP Rocky, look at ASAP Relly, you have to look at the word ASAP. So ASAP is a collective. It's a friend group. You know, some of the most popular ones that have come out of ASAP are obviously ASAP Rocky, which we're well known for, and also to ASAP Ferg. But it's a big group of collective that really got formed. We're in high school, living in Harlem. Some have become more successful than others. And what we see between Relly and ASAP Rocky in particular is that Relly thought that ASAP Rocky had forgot about a lot of the members of the group. A lot of the member groups were not having as much financial success. And in particular, one of the individuals.
Sound like he was hating. Sound like my dude was hating. And it's something that a lot of successful people go through because you'll have friends that you've been with for a very long time, but unfortunately their actions and their work ethic or their circumstances is such that they're not as successful as you are, and they will hate, unfortunately. And it's a very sad thing. ASAP Rocky probably was hurt watching the hate in his friend's eye, and altercation happened, and he probably have to defend himself, right? Because with hate, it be the closest ones, closest ones to you that'll do you. You know what I'm saying? Pause. Not in that way, but you understand what I mean. So, in ASAP Rocky's defense, maybe he felt threatened, right? But I don't think that's the defense they're gonna go with, because clearly this case, it's probably, his lawyers probably let him know it's not that strong of a case because the evidence they have are not, you know, strong, and they don't have definite evidence that he did it. It's all circumstantial from what the news is saying. So let's
the group had
so what
passed
else?
away, and he was upset because he felt that Rocky hadn't done enough to support the friends and the funeral. Subsequently, what we found out was that ASAP Rocky did fund the funeral and has been supporting the friends. And so it's one of those tales of friendship gone awry, one has become more successful, and others are accusing him of not doing enough to give back, which is a challenge that a lot of the
bring
rappers
everybody
face
else
in this
along,
community,
yeah.
to bring people along, in particular in the sports world, the media world. Once you have first generational, even college students, right, there's this burden of that support, of having to support your community going forward, and then the questions you get asked.
And Brian, there was something else that stood out to me. A$AP Relly actually called his attorney before contacting police. He collected the case shellings there. What do you make of this? Does it cast any doubt on his story, or make it seem as if...
Sound like my man was prepared to set my dude up. Yeah, my man was prepared to go snitch. You know, you collecting evidence. That's probably what you're gonna do. You know. Yeah, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting, but you know, becoming successful, it will happen to you. It will happen to you. Believe me.
as if it was planned? Any ulterior motives?
It casts a lot of doubt. On top of that, there's also a civil lawsuit that was filed shortly after A$AP Rocky was arrested. So take everything that Mike says about the background dynamics of this relationship with this group, and then add on that after the shooting, he doesn't call 911 first, but he calls his attorney. Law enforcement goes and surveys the incident or the place where it allegedly occurred, and they don't find any evidence of a shooting, but somehow Relly, days later, provides the shell casings, but there's no gun. So how do we know that these shell casings went with this gun? How do we know that a shooting actually occurred? They say there's a video
Well, they could test a shell casing if they find the gun, right?
where 2 shots went off, but A$AP Relly says that 3 to 4 shots went off. And so there's a lot of like kind of ambiguity and potentially reasonable doubt in this story already that when it goes to trial really is a question mark as what's going to happen.
Okay, Mike, we got to talk possible strategy here. So what will A$AP Rocky's legal team be trying to do as we watch this play out?
One thing I'm looking out for is that A$AP Rocky's defense attorney said that A$AP Rocky is cool as a cucumber right now. And I think when a defense attorney says that their client is as cool as a cucumber, indicates that they have something to disprove this case in totality.
All right,
Well,
and
yeah.
Brian, the next pretrial hearing is set for March 6th here. What can we expect between now and then?
Negotiation. I don't think A$AP Rocky is going to end up taking a plea deal, but every defense attorney is going to wear 2 different hats. You're negotiating to get the best possible deal for your client, but also at the same time, you're preparing for the discovery the prosecutor's going to give, and there might also be some exchange of information from the defense. Because per the story, there are 2 other members of the A$AP conglomerate that were there. My question is, who are they going to testify for?
Goodness gracious. Talk about some friend group drama.
And this is and he's right. There were more than 1 people there. It wasn't just them 2. And I'll pull up the video for y'all so you could see what he's speaking of. TMZ had it from, you know, when it happened in 2021. It seemed like that's old boy right here. Oh no, that is A$AP. My bad. That's old boy and that's A$AP. It seemed like that's a friend right here. Yeah, it's a big deal because we could see A$AP there. We see the braids, we see the clothes, we could see the friend, we could see the victim allegedly, and we could also see the friend there. That's there as well. Ooh, there goes the gun. There goes the gun. And from the video, you can't see Maybe that's an extended clip, but you could see the gun clearly. Did I hear a pop? And this is 2 people, so maybe those are the 2. And this is ASAP walking. And I see 1, 2, 3 people approaching him, right? 3 guys approaching him. Seems like there's a scuffle. There's a clear fight going on. Somebody ran. Somebody's running. Somebody chasing the person that was running. So that guy seemed like the gentleman with the long hair, right? So it's not the person he was fighting. Is that a gunshot? Did you hear a gunshot? Yeah, that's a gunshot. That's a gunshot. 2. All right. So, yeah, clearly something happened, right? Something happened. So let's finish the video here. Something happened.
Drama. It's going to play out. All right. ABC News contributor Mike Muse and Brian Buckmeyer. And before we go, we have to say congratulations to you and your Michigan Wolverines.
Okay. So that was the end of that story. So unfortunately, dude called the cops, and he got shot. So I mean, you gotta get some help. So he probably called the cops and reported that ASAP Rocky had shot him, right? And this is today. Let's see here. If I can make this bigger. This is today. This is ASAP Rocky walking to the court today. So this is ASAP Rocky today walking into court with his lawyers. So the prosecutor came up to him and gave him a plea deal to avoid trial. And the plea deal consists of time in jail. He had to do time in jail and some time on probation. We don't know what the probation would consist of. That we don't know if he'll have to stay in California or if he can leave the state or leave the country. So ASAP Rocky is probably worried about all that right now because he does live in Barbados a lot of the year with Rihanna and his kids. So he's probably thinking about that. But from what I was reading today, it seems like they're trying to get him 20 years for this. So if he goes to trial and blow trial, he can get 10 to 20 years for this. Very serious. Very serious. But he did turn it down. He turned down the plea, which consisted of 6 months in jail or probation. So we'll see. So now they're probably getting ready to go to trial, and hopefully everything works out for him. We don't want anyone go to jail, man. We don't want anyone going to jail. So we'll see how that happen, how that goes down for ASAP Rocky.